Welcome to this episode of the Harpreet Singh Show. I am a host, Harpreet Singh from Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. In today's program, we'll be talking to Dileep Nigam, who is a personal coach, a motivational speaker, and a mentor. Today, we're going to talk to him on a very important topic because especially at this particular time, and this topic is of great importance, that how to manage fears and anxieties in uncertain times. In this COVID-19 crisis, everybody is concerned what is happening, and unnecessary fears are coming in the mind. So what should be kept in mind? What are those points which Mr. Dileep Nigam would like to let us know today, by which we can control these fears? Let's talk to him and learn from him. Mr. Dileep Nigam, thank you for your time and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Harpreet.
Thank you. So let's start off with how to manage your fears in these uncertain times.
Yeah, sure. Now to start with, let me talk about what is a fear.
Mhm.
Fear is an emotion which is basically creates an unpleasant feelings inside the minds of the people based on the belief that someone or something is going to harm or cause discomfort to the people. Now, a key element to note here is there are some beliefs based on the beliefs of the people about situations and people. But before I go into further, Zig Ziglar, one of the famous authors, writers, and motivational speaker, gave two interesting meanings to the word fear. First is forget everything and run. Okay?
Mhm.
And the second meaning was face everything and rise. Right? Very, very interesting meanings given. Depends upon how we perceive it and how we look at it. I'll give you an example. My granddaughters recently have moved to Whistler and they joined a forest school. Now, and they are just about 6 and 4. So before they joined the forest school, as they ventured into the forest trails along with the teacher as a guide, they were told two things. In these dense trails of forest, we could come across bear, a grizzly bear even, Now, what do? When a bear comes, there are two options. Either you run away from bear or you face bear. And you know how to manage the situation. So these two little kids, 6 and 4, were first thing taught, how do you face a bear? And it was like you enlarge yourself, raise your hand and shout at the greatest pitch of yourself.
Right.
So when we reached recently, she said, Grandpa, do you know how to face a bear? I said, no, I don't know.
Right.
And they started explaining to me how the teacher taught.
Wow.
Now, this is a simple example.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
Mr. Nigam, look at this, the flight and fear syndrome, how easily that has been explained by the teacher, and the children are incorporating that, and then they're very happily talking to you about it. So that's really commendable.
Yeah, exactly. So it was not that we don't want to go into the forest trail because the fear could be there. The bear could be there with the fear of bear. But instead, they say we will go to the forest trails, enjoy the forest journey. However, you need to understand and learn when the bear is there, what do you do? Right? Now, the life is like that. It's like that. The more we face fear, the more we run away from fear, the fear becomes bigger. But more we face it, the fear becomes smaller and it shrinks. So we have to keep that in mind when we talk about managing and facing fears. Now, talking on this journey again, basically I will talk about three types of fears which people generally face in their life, which basically block people's success journey and their progress in life and career. It's very vital to identify what are the kind of fears people face.
G.
Right? So the first fear people face, because before we find a solution, we need to understand the
What
kind
it
of
is.
fears, what
Absolutely.
exactly you are haunted about, right? So the first fear people face is fear of rejection. Fear of rejection. If you ask somebody, how is the job going? He says, yeah, chal raha hai. It's just going on, right? Just living through it. But why? What is holding you back? You may not be exactly happy with the situations at your job site, but what's holding you back is the situation which is I could be rejected.
Right.
If I go to a new job, I need to prove myself again, and I may or may not be able to prove myself, and so that the fear of rejection holds you back.
Mm-hmm.
You have a girlfriend, you want to make a girlfriend with a girl, you like her, and you know the biggest fear which holds you back, what if she rejects me, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if she rejects me?
Right.
So you don't want to feel that embarrassment of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to understand and change our thought process towards fear of rejection, that rejection and failures are a
Right.
part of the life.
Yeah.
When you take a challenge to get rejected or fail, then only you move on to the next step of success. So it's all about our own attitude towards a fear of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
To overcome that, we need to change our attitude and identify ways how can we overcome that fear or rejection.
Right.
For example, if a person is fearful of heights, or flying a plane, then what do? You don't fly a plane, you don't ride in a plane. No, you don't ride. You do ride a plane, but you need to understand that the fact is that the number of deaths which occur in life because of smoking is
much more
than the number of deaths that occur through a commercial jet failure or
That's
a crash.
Right. Yeah.
It means more we educate ourselves towards the fear,
Mm-hmm.
more we are able to win over it.
Right.
So this was fear of rejection.
Right.
Now comes the second case is,
Yeah, so Mr. Nigam, let's go for a break. After this, we'll continue with our other
Sure.
2 points, what you want to raise, because that's a very important point, what you have said, failure of rejection. And that
Yeah.
fear many times withhold us from progressing, from going forward. But if we keep this aspect in mind, what you have told us, then definitely we'll be much bolder and we'll be much better, and we can face that issue right straightforward in the eye. Let's go for a break. We'll be back and then we'll continue with the discussion. And there are some questions from our viewers also, which we would like to ask from you.
ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰੀ, ਡੈਲਟਾ, ਰਿਚਮੰਡ, ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਵਾਂ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਨੋਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਤਜਰਬੇਕਾਰ ਬਿਲਡਰ, ਇੱਕ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿਵ ਇੰਟੀਰੀਅਰ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਰ ਦੀ, ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਉਸਾਰ ਸਕਣ। ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਦੀਪ 6048259295 ਉੱਤੇ।
Karen thought she won a gift card, but we had a much bigger surprise for her. We rise by lifting others. Basant Motors.
ਦਰਦ ਤੋਂ ਆਰਾਮ ਐਲੋਪੈਥਿਕ ਦਵਾਈਆਂ ਖਾਣ ਨਾਲ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਸਾਈਡ ਇਫੈਕਟਸ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਦਰਦ ਨੂੰ ਜੜੋਂ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਰਕਸ ਫਾਰਮੇਸੀ ਦੇ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਟਾਫ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟਸ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਹਰ ਹਿੱਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਹਨ। ਅਪਾਇੰਟਮੈਂਟ ਬੁੱਕ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 604 596 1774 ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ 8035 120 ਸਟਰੀਟ ਡੈਲਟਾ। ਦਰਦ ਨੂੰ ਜੜੋਂ ਖਤਮ ਕਰੋ। How to manage your fears and anxieties in uncertain times. This is the topic on which we are talking, and Mr. Dileep Nigam, who is a well-known personal coach and mentor, he's sharing his viewpoints as to how we need to tackle these issues. Before we get him back, I would like to just inform you about our sponsors. This program has been brought to you with the support of AMC Insurance. If you're looking for home, auto, travel, business, life or recreational insurance, you can depend upon AMC Insurance. They have 9 branches in Lower Mainland to serve you, and they're open 7 days a week. From 8:30 a.m. onwards till 9 p.m. For more information, you can call 604-507-6666. Our next sponsor is Ahir Transportation Group Limited. They have been in the transportation and storage industry since 1993, and their motto is, your cargo is our responsibility. So if you're wanting to send any of your goods anywhere in Canada, you can depend upon them. Their office is located at 8970 River Road, Delta. Phone number is 604-940-9511. Website is ahir.com, and if you want to send an email, you can send it at shinda@ahir.com. ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੁਲੀ ਜੁਐਲਰਸ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਨੇ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਤੋਂ। 79 Merriam Street, Harris Park, Sydney, Australia. If you're looking for diamond or gold jewelry, opals, pearls, or gems, you can depend upon the 25 years of experience of this family of jewelry designers and gemologists. You can call at 0422 401 199. 0422 401 199. So, गलबात सिलसिला के तौर जी, let's get back Mr. Dileep Nigam and continue with the discussion as to what are those other 2 points of the first one he talked about was fear of rejection. What's the other fear which consumes people?
Yeah, Harpreet, the second fear of rejection, after that fear of rejection, another very dominant fear in the people's minds is the fear of what people will say, fear of being judged by the people. You remember, I'm sure you have heard this situation. I don't know, how people would feel about it, react to it. Now, before we manage it, it's very vital to understand people will comment upon you or for you anyways, whether you want it or not. The easiest thing to do in this world is comment upon people, and you know what? Give your opinion to people.
Absolutely.
Don't do it. It won't work for you, right? Now, it's a normal thing for the people to be doing this. Now, you have to ask a question. What is the stake of this person on myself, on my success? Is he detrimental to my success in any way? Or he is just giving an opinion? Now, if his interest or stake in your success is not there, just ignore his thoughts. You have to think of that, yes, you have to ask yourself, yes, whether actually he is seriously interested in my success process. Now, for example, even considering that thought, there will be situations where even your loved ones, your family and very close friends will give you opinion which you may or may not like. Now, you have to understand that their opinions and thoughts are based on their expertise and experiences of life, right? It's not really they are not interested in your success. They might be interested in your success. However, it's happening. Whatever they know and whatever their experiences have been, they are commenting and advising you based on that. But you need to take it with a pinch of salt. You need to really make your own best assessment, not bothering about what people will think. You have to take a decision whether this decision of mine is in my best interest and supports and guides and complements my success journey, right? Now, this is the second subject, which is called fear of people's opinions, fear of being laughed at, fear of what people will think and say about you.
Right.
That's the second fear. Now, I come to the third fear. The third fear is the fear of change. Fear of change. That's one of the biggest fear which hampers people's success and growth process. Now, I'll give you a simple thing. I was in Singapore before I came here. In 2010, I landed in Canada. And while I was in Singapore, I was operating as a country commercial head for a French multinational. Settled in a very, very senior position, doing great in life, settled there for the past 17 years. Now, when I had to come here, that was a major change for us.
Right.
And I was like 50 plus, I was mid 50s at that time. Now, anybody would think, oh my God, why would you make such drastic changes in your life that people don't even change the jobs? You're changing the careers as well as the country. And that to a country which you don't know how it will basically turn out to be. We have never worked in Canada, but I took the decision.
Right.
But I managed that change upfront. Based on the knowledge, I upgraded my knowledge. I identified what kind of changes I should be prepared for.
Right.
And I landed here fully prepared. And I'm going to talk about that as we discuss further. But it's vital that be ready for a change. Be ready to embrace the change. Change is a must in life. And change is what brings growth and success in life.
Right.
Don't be scared of change.
Absolutely. But right now, I would like just to relate this third point, what you have touched about fear of change, because that is a very important issue right now. During this COVID-19 crisis, everybody is concerned about the changes that are coming so fast, and we do not know what is going to happen in future. Jobs are at stake, businesses are closing, health-wise also people are concerned. So especially during this time, Mr. Nigam, if you can elaborate and tell us what guidance would you like to give it to us today that During these uncertain times of COVID-19 crisis, what things should be kept in mind? Because fear of change is the most dominant thing prevalent in the minds of the people. The anxiety is there, the fear is there as to what is going to happen next. We don't know.
So, to answer that question, a very good question, RPG. To answer that question, we have to understand that change, the only constant in life is change. Change is going to cause discomfort and challenges in life. We have to accept that fact of life. If change happens, things may not be comfortable. Things might require you to modify the way you look at things. Now, in COVID situation, what is vital is, now a lot of us were working from home today in a COVID situation, but we need to see this as an opportunity, not just as a situation or a challenge, but we have to see it as an opportunity. I was talking to one of my friends recently, and I said, so what do you do these days? Extra time is at your disposal. He says, we just spend a lot of time with our baby. I said, that's great. You have more time for your family, but how about plan for the change? Today you are with the job, tomorrow you may not be with the job.
Yeah.
How about prepare for that emergency or a situation emerging in front of you in 2 or 3 months or 5 months from now? Maybe the company is wanting to change, and company is trying to reconfigure the whole operation, and one unit is completely closed in which you are working. Or company is bought over by somebody and there's a change happening because of reconfiguration of the two companies or merger. And you are let go. What do you do now?
Right.
I said, this is the time to prepare yourself for the change or that eventuality. I asked him one question.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically what you are saying is, during these times of change, what you are saying is, instead of repenting and blaming and just complaining, it is better to adopt to that change and then look for something else which can be beneficial to you.
Yeah. And I gave one example to this person I was talking to. I said, in the new company formation, you are removed from this department and made the head of department of another department, where you have to manage. Are you ready for it today? Says, oh, no. I said, that's a promotion, right? It's a promotion to a management position. You have to manage 20 people at the same time, which you have not done. You manage 4 people now. Now you have to manage the full department. Are you ready for it? And if not, identify the skill set which you need to upgrade to be in that position.
Right. Okay.
You need to focus on the future. Yeah.
Absolutely. And how to focus on the future? What other points you'd like to let us know? There is time for some change for you now also. We'll go for a break. And as you're getting more and more brighter, let's bring a little bit of change in your setting also. So let's go for a break. We'll be back and we'll continue with the discussion.
Yeah, sure.
ਭਾਰਤ ਪੈਸੇ ਭੇਜਣੇ ਹੋਣ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਮੰਗਵਾਣੇ ਹੋਣ ਤੇ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖੋ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਫੋਰੈਕਸ ਨੂੰ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਬਖਸ਼ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਰੇਟ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਗਾਰੰਟੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 6043491313 ਉੱਤੇ।
ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਵੇਂ ਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਸਟੋਵ, ਓਵਨ, ਫ੍ਰਿਜ, ਵਾਸ਼ਰ ਡਰਾਇਰ, ਮਾਈਕ੍ਰੋਵੇਵ, ਫ੍ਰੀਜ਼ਰਸ ਜਾਂ ਡਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ਼ਰ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪਹੁੰਚੋ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਮ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਤੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ 3 ਬ੍ਰਾਂਚਸ ਸਰੀ, ਐਬਟਸਫੋਰਡ ਤੇ ਚਿਲਵੈਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਜਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ। ਇਹ ਡਿਲੀਵਰੀ ਤੇ ਇੰਸਟਾਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਪੈਕੇजेस ਫॉर ਬਿਲਡਰਸ ਐਂਡ ਹੋਮ ਓਨਰਸ। ਕਾਲ 6045904140 604-590-4140। ਸ਼ਾਈਨ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਡੈਂਟਲ ਕਲੀਨਿਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਤਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਦੇਖਰੇਖ ਹੇਠ ਆਧੁਨਿਕ ਮਸ਼ੀਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੰਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਹੀ ਕੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੰਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰਨਾ, ਕਰਾਊਨਸ, ਬ੍ਰਿਜਸ, ਡੈਂਟਲ ਇੰਪਲਾਂਟਸ, ਰੂਟ ਕਨਾਲ, ਡੈਂਚਰਸ, ਬੌਂਡਿੰਗ ਅਤੇ ਵਨੀਰਸ, ਐਕਸਟ੍ਰੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ, ਬੋਨ ਗ੍ਰੈਫਟਿੰਗ ਆਦਿ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹਨ। ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਡੈਂਟਿਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਮਾਹਰ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ ਬਿੱਲ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਚਾਰਜ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਵਾਅਦਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਫॉर ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਸ਼ਾਈਨ ਐਂਡ ਸਮਾਈਲ 604-503-0320 ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ। ਕਿੰਗ ਜਾਰਜ ਸੁਪਰ ਸਟੋਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ, ਯੂਨਿਟ 370, 7488 ਕਿੰਗ ਜਾਰਜ ਬੁਲੇਵਾਰਡ, ਸਰੀ।
ਘਰ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਸੁਨਹਿਰੀ ਪਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਦ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਦਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਨਵੇਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰੇਮਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਤੱਕ, ਡ੍ਰੇਪਰੀ, ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗਸ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਡੈਕੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਅਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ SK ਹੋਮ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਕੀਕਤ 'ਚ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ 6048259295।
Once again, welcome back to the program. Today we're talking to Mr. Dileep Nigam and he's talking about how to manage your fears and anxieties in uncertain times. Before we get him back, there are some sponsors with whose support this program reaches you every day from 7 p.m. onwards Pacific Standard Time, Monday to Friday. This program has been brought to you with the support of Untitled. ਨਵਾਂ ਘਰ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਨੋਵੇਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਲਵਾਈਆਂ ਜਾਣ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਦੌੜ ਖਤਮ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ Untitled ਕੋਲ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਕੇ। ਗ੍ਰੇਨਾਈਟ, ਮਾਰਬਲ, ਪੋਰਸਲਨ, ਸੈਰਾਮਿਕ ਟਾਈਲਸ, ਕਿਚਨ, ਬਾਥ, ਸ਼ਲੂਟਰ ਦੇ ਕਸਟਮ ਸ਼ਾਰ ਬੇਸ, ਫਾਇਰਪਲੇਸਿਸ, ਡੈਕਸ ਤੇ ਦੀਵਾਰਾਂ ਤੇ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਮਹਾਰਤ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਨ। ਹਰ ਬਜਟ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਇਹ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਅਮਨ ਨੂੰ 7783163510। ਘਰ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਚਨ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਸਟ ਹੋਮ ਕਿਚਨ ਕੈਬਨਿਟਸ ਲੋਅਰ ਮੇਨਲੈਂਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਜਾਣੀ ਪਛਾਣੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਹਨ। ਕਸਟਮ ਹਾਈ ਐਂਡ ਘਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਮਲਟੀ ਯੂਨਿਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਇਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਕੈਬਨਿਟ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਬੈਸਟ ਹੋਮ ਕਿਚਨ ਕੈਬਨਿਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖੋ। ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਸੁਰਜੀਤ ਢੇਸੀ ਨੂੰ 6045918171 6045918171। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਈਮੇਲ ਹੈ info@besthomekitchens.com। ਸਰੀ ਕਲੋਵਰਡੇਲ ਤੇ ਫਰੇਜ਼ਰ ਵੈਲੀ ਦੇ ਟੌਪ ਰੀਅਲਟਰ ਹਨ ਜੈ ਸੁਪਰਾਏ ਜੋ ਰੀਮੈਕਸ ਬਲੂਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਰਿਐਲਿਟੀ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ ਆਪਣੀ ਇੰਟੈਗ੍ਰਿਟੀ, ਕਮਿਟਮੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟਸ ਕਾਰਨ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਘਰ ਜਾਂ ਕਮਰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਰਟੀ ਖਰੀਦਣੀ ਜਾਂ ਵੇਚਣੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੌਖਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਕਲਾਇੰਟ ਮਹੱਤਤਾ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ 24 ਘੰਟਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਾਲ ਵਾਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੁਟਾਉਂਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ $500 ਨਕਦ ਦੇਣਗੇ। ਆਪਣੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਮੁਫਤ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਵੈਲਿਊਏਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਸਲਾਹ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 7789947450 778-994-7450 jo@jasobright.ca ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਹੈ। ਮਾਫੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਈਮੇਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਹੈ jasobright.ca। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੀਂ ਤੇ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਦਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਐਕਮੀ ਗਲਾਸ ਲਿਮਿਟਡ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਫਰੇਮਲੈਸ ਗਲਾਸ ਰੇਲਿੰਗਸ, ਕਸਟਮ ਵੁੱਡ ਕਲੋਜ਼ਟ, ਸ਼ਾਰ ਤੇ ਟਬ ਡੋਰਸ, ਸ਼ਾਰ ਸਲਾਈਡਰਸ, ਬੈਵਲਡ ਵੁੱਡ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਟਲ ਟ੍ਰਿਮ ਮਿਰਰਸ ਤੇ ਕਸਟਮ ਗਲਾਸ ਵਰਕ ਦੀ ਮਹਾਰਤ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਨ। ਵਾਜਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ, ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ, ਕਰਾਫਟਸਮੈਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਤੇ ਹਾਈ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਜਾਣੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ। ਆਪਣੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਜਾਂ ਰੈਨੋਵੇਟ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਘਰ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 6045438777 6045438777। Let's once again get back to Mr. Dileep Nigam. He has brought about that change. See, opportunity always strikes you. There was an opportunity for a break, and during the break, he has taken the advantage, and that sunlight which was facing him on his face, he has just covered it with a shade. So let's continue the discussion. The 3 points what you have said is fear of rejection, fear of what people will think about, and fear of change. So how to manage these fears now?
Right. So, you very rightly said, I had to get up to embrace the change. I had to block the sunlight falling big time on my face. Yeah. Sun was in fact smiling too extensively on myself. Okay, cool. So, managing fears. The first method I would talk about is manage your attitude towards it. Mm-hmm. We have to understand that fear is just a situation or an emotion we are embracing. And it is never always bad. It's good in the sense that it allows us to identify what is right for us and what is not right for us and take the right decision. So fear creates an opportunity to evaluate our decision-making process and move forward from there. So never look at the fear as a negative situation. Right? Now, this is one. So it's about managing your attitude towards fear. And plan your actions accordingly. Identify why is fear happening and what's the cause of it. Right? As I said, get into the details of the fear, the cause of it, and what could be the result of it. And educate yourself, update your knowledge about it, and then embrace fear. Right? So this is very, very vital. As I gave the example of people fearful of flying in the aircraft. That fear may be based on a situation that people died in a crash. Or a child is not allowed by the parents to learn swimming because of the haunting fear that they recently heard a child drowned in the swimming pool. Right? Now, if if the parents are haunted by that fear, a child will never learn swimming. But we need to identify how can we manage fear and move on. You have to have a safety jacket or whatever, and then there's a coach there, and you know what? You are being systematically coached to be a swimmer. So life will have many situations where knowledge will remove fear.
Right.
Adequate knowledge on the subject will remove fear.
Right.
But there are some situations where you don't have examples or knowledge. You don't have the right knowledge. For example, fear of standing on the stage and speaking, public speaking. Now, you may not have experience of that, and it's very hard to explain the experience that. However,
Absolutely.
if you read the stories of people who had fear of this kind, similar fear, read those stories and listen and learn from them how they overcome the fear of public speaking. You can follow the same and also win over fear of public speaking.
Right.
Right? However, there's another technique of embracing and overcoming fear, and that's called plan and action. Plan and action. And what is that action you have to plan? There's something called exposure method. You have to expose yourself to an action which will help you remove the fear. For example, if you have fear of speaking, you prepare a 2-minute talk and you are very, very keen on becoming a good speaker. That desire is important. You will never face a fear if you are not desirous of overcoming that fear. But if you are keen of overcoming fear, this embrace technology is very important. It's called embrace therapy. Now, how do you apply embrace therapy? You prepare a short 1.5 or 2-minute talk on a specific subject and speak it in front of the mirror. Record it and watch it yourself how you perform. Practice it a few times, and then comes the second stage. Give the same talk in front of your wife or your spouse and let her observe how you perform.
Right.
Third stage of it is do the same talk in front of a spouse and one friend.
Right.
Next stage, do it in front of a spouse, a friend, maybe 2 friends. And then do it in front of your office team, a small team of people. If you do a mistake, you fumble, is fine, no big deal, right? But you're not in front of 500 people. And you know what? That's called embrace therapy.
Absolutely.
You embrace
overcoming those fears.
situation.
Yeah.
There you go. Slowly you overcome.
Right.
Okay. So this is one method. It's called embrace therapy, and prepare an action plan.
Right.
Now, I'll again go back to my situation story of going to, coming from Singapore to Canada, and just want to tell a little bit about that I had the fear little bit in the back of my mind that yes, situations may be different. I was even hearing all the horror stories that my engineering degree may not be recognized. I had to prepare an action plan before landing here, and I worked on it 6 to 8 months before landing here in December 2010. Now, what were the action plans? Action plans was I sent my engineering degree for accreditation to BCIT in Canada, in British Columbia, and got my engineering degree accredited, and I certified that yes, this is equivalent to an engineering degree in Canada.
Right.
Because I was told your degree may not be recognized over here. Okay, fine. Then I was operating in commercial law business. My performance was in commercial and contracts portfolios with a French company. But I said I have worked in India, I have worked in Southeast Asia and Singapore. However, I have no idea about the contract laws of North America. I prepared for that. I undertook accreditations and courses on that.
Right. So, Mr. Nigam, basically what we're trying to tell us is that whenever there is a fear of change, start preparing for it and get ready so that once that change comes, you are able to face that right in the face and you are able to succeed. We have very short time left for the program, so I would like to know some other points also without the examples, if you could just run by them.
Sure. So, another one is, as I said, plan action, but prepare and practice, as I said. Just to give another example, my son is a professional speaker. He speaks in front of 500,000 people. but he prepares his speech and practices it at least 10 times before he delivers the speech.
Right.
Practice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prepare and you have to practice. You go for an interview, you have the fear of rejection, right? There could be 10 people sitting and you are sweating when you see the crowd there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to happen after COVID. Many people have lost the jobs or maybe losing the job. And when you go for a job interview, you will come across this situation. You have to prepare and practice.
Right.
Take a mock interview with somebody who can do that for you. But you know what? Very, very important is sometimes somebody can guide you as a mentor or a coach.
Right.
Who is only interested in your success journey
Right.
and wants to see you flourish in life.
Mm-hmm.
Identify a success coach and a mentor, and he is the one who is going to guide you and tell you how to overcome fears and manage your fears and embrace your fears.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, but I would give a closing sentence here, a quote by a person called Jimmy Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Dean was a famous American TV personality and a business owner. And he said, you can't change the direction of wind, but you can adjust the sails to reach your destination.
Absolutely.
Right?
And
It's all about you. Exactly. You can't change the COVID situation is beyond our control.
Yes.
But you can manage our mindset,
attitude,
our
we can
attitude.
change our perspective,
Our change our
and
attitude.
mindset. Very true.
Yes.
Mr.
You're
Nigam,
right.
as usual, it's always a pleasure. Every month, people wait to hear from you on different topics, and today the topic was very important. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope our viewers can take advantage. If somebody wants to contact you, where they can call you or get hold of you?
Yeah, they can call me on my number 604-349-4107. That's my cell number. And my email is simplyexcel, SIMPLIEXCEL 13@gmail.com.
Wonderful.
Or dileep.nigam@gmail.com.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Ace and Mr. Dileep Nigam, and today the topic what we talked about was how to manage fears and anxieties in these challenging times. And the points what he has raised are very relevant. It's time that we understand, change our perspective, because situations will not change, but how we react to them or how we adopt to the situations, that is what matters. Thank you for sparing your valuable time and being a part of this program. Every evening from 7 p.m. onwards Pacific Standard Time, Monday to Friday, I have different speakers come and talk on different issues. So if you also want to be a part of this program, you can contact me at 604-603-7555 or email me at harpreetsinghshow@gmail.com. And also, if you're liking these programs, we would seek your support. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/harpreetsinghshow, or on Facebook, The Harpreet Singh Show. We'll close this program here only. Thank you very much and see you again. Have a safe evening and enjoy yourself.
ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ? ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਓਨਰ ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਦਾ ਉਦਾਹਰਨ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਾਰ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖ ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਸਰੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੋੜ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜੀਂਦੇ ਟਰੱਕਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਪੇਸ ਮੋਡੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਫਿਊਲ ਐਫੀਸ਼ੀਐਂਸੀ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਟਰੱਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਟੌਰ।
ਵੈਨਕਾਸਾ ਟਾਈਲ ਅਤੇ ਸਟੋਨ ਸ਼ੋਰੂਮ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਲਸੇਲ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਟਾਈਲਸ, ਸਟੋਨ, ਮਾਰਬਲ, ਬੈਕਸਪਲੈਸ਼, ਮੋਜ਼ੇਕ ਆਦਿ ਵਾਜਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਟਾਲੀਅਨ, ਸਪੈਨਿਸ਼, ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਪੋਰਸਲਨ ਜਾਂ ਸਿਰਾਮਿਕ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਜਾਂ ਮਾਰਬਲ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਆਰਡਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਲੀਅਰੈਂਸ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਮਾਲਕ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਇੰਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ 130428 ਐਵਨਿਊ ਸਰੀ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 604-330-7363 604-330-7363।
ਕੁਦਰਤ ਦੇ ਸੌਮਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਆਯੁਰਵੇਦਾ ਰਾਹੀਂ 5000 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਬਣਾਏ ਗਏ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅਪਰੂਵਡ 100% ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਆਯੁਰਵੈਦਿਕ ਡਾਇਟਰੀ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਲਾਭ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ, ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ, ਇਨਸੋਮਨੀਆ, ਬਲੱਡ ਸ਼ੂਗਰ, ਕਿਡਨੀ, ਬਲੈਡਰ, ਹਾਜ਼ਮਾ, ਆਈਸਾਈਟ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਦਾ ਆਰਗੈਨਿਕ ਇਲਾਜ, ਜੋੜਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਦਰਦਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਰੀਰਕ ਮਸਾਜ ਲਈ ਕਈ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੇ ਆਯੁਰਵੈਦਿਕ ਤੇਲ ਵੀ ਉਪਲਬਧ ਹਨ। ਹੋਲਸੇਲ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ 604 628 2003।